Barakatay Hawa, Ba'ashem Hawashai, Ba'ashem Racha Kudash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is Haste is the Order of the Day. And pretty much this lesson is inspired by a video I was just watching. The up-and-coming young elder, Amawan Gabar. I believe I put this link in the description box. He said the next major event could change everything, causing all. And for some reason, when I was check that out, 444 views. When I was listening to him, I don't remember exactly what he said, but it brought to mind the word haste and this one particular precept that came to mind. So when we look up the word haste means excessive speed or urgency of movement or action, hurry. And pretty much, this is what we're hoping for, an excessive speed or urgency of movement or action, to hurry so the Lord can speed everything up, move everything in a speedy way so that, we can be delivered out of here sooner the better. And it brought a couple of scriptures to mind, and then I typed in the word hasteth, which is a word that came into mind. And this came up, which we go to this a lot, Zephaniah 1:14. The great day of the Lord is near, it is near, and hasteth greatly. So the day of the Lord is near. What is the day of the Lord? The destruction of the heathen kingdoms, beginning with Esau, and the deliverance of the elect of the nation of Israel. And the word hasteth, when we look that word up, is the word mahar, which means speed. Mahar is speed or speedy. All right, hurrying, speedy, swift, hastening, quickly, speedily, suddenly, right, so I can hurry up and come. So let's read this again. The great day of the Lord is near, it is near, and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, the mighty man, shall cry there bitterly. Why? Because when the Lord comes back, the mighty men, which are the military men of this world, will be fighting. And then when they figure out that they no longer are fighting against each other because of this big gigantic spaceship, that the scriptures call a chariot, appears in the heavens, and they are going to be bewildered as to what to do. So even the most mighty man that doesn't fear any man as far as war is concerned, they're going to be shaken in their boots. So this day is hastening quickly and greatly, and this is why we see everything popping up. That's why in Habakkuk it says, at the end it shall speak and not lie. So we're witnessing the prophecies speaking, literally the words from the pages of the Bible leaping out of the pages of the Bible into the actions of the things that are happening around the world that the Lord said would happen, in these times. Then we go to 2 Ezra chapter 4 and 26. It says, Then answered he me and said, The more thou searchest, the more thou shalt marvel, for the world hasteth fast to pass away. And this is the scripture that popped up in my mind when I was watching the up-and-coming young elders video, Amawan Gabar, because the world hasteth fast to pass away. And how do we know that? Because of the way things are speeding up. Back in the days, years took a long time to go through. Nowadays, years are they're flying by. It almost feels like a year is only like 3 or 4 months long, as fast as the years are going through. Right now, we're in the middle of November 2022, the year of hastening the coming of our Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. In another month and a half, it'll be 2023. And it seemed like this year just started not too long ago, but now we're at the end of 2022. We were at the end of 2021, all these years are passing by lightning speed because the Lord is hastening the time to pass away. He's speeding everything up and cannot comprehend the things that are promised to the righteous in time to come. Right, because these things, no one can, even we that have the hope of salvation, and are looking for that blessed hope, we don't even really fully know exactly how the kingdom is going to be. We could only speculate, and as far as our imagination can go, based off of the things that we read in the scriptures, or maybe things that we've seen in movies that might give us a hint, but we don't even know. For this world is full of unrighteousness and infirmities, and the majority of the world has no idea or clue as to the world that's coming. It says, but as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee, for the evil is sown, and we see the evil being sown. The seeds of evil have been sown for a long time, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. Right, because we haven't witnessed yet the fall of this system. I'm not sure if that's Isaiah 26 and Isaiah 26:18. We have been with child, we have been in pain, we have, as it were, brought forth wind. So in other words, we, the Israelites, are like a woman that is waiting to be delivered of that child that is in her. She's past her due date. She's catching hell because she wants that baby to get out of her so she can be delivered from that pain. Well, we're at the point where we're ready to be delivered, but it seems like we're bringing forth wind because we haven't reached that, crossed that threshold of salvation yet. Jeremiah said, summer is past, the harvest is past, summer is past, and we are not saved. So this is what we're hastening for. So haste is the order of the day. It says we have not wrought any deliverance in the earth. Right, we haven't wrought any deliverance in the earth. Remember, Ezra complained that all nations that are reputed as nothing in the sight of the Most High, they have all kinds of, goodies, all kind of benefits. And here it is, we, the darling of the Most High, the chosen of the Most High, we don't have shit. We're still waiting for our deliverance. We're still waiting for the kingdom. But it's coming. Neither have the inhabitants of the world fallen. The Edomites have not fallen. They need to fall, but they haven't fallen yet. So going back to 2nd Ezra, at the end of the 28th verse, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. Because the evil is sown, but the destruction hasn't come yet. Once the destruction comes, then is the time for a change of worlds. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, the Edomite kingdom / heathen kingdoms has to be turned upside down because they turned everything upside down. So the Lord has to turn it right side up now. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as a potter's clay. So they're going to be revealed for what they have sown in the earth, and then the destruction is going to come. So if therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away. Yeah, this place is going to pass away with a noise. And there's going to be the elements melting with fervent heat. Then cannot it come that is sown with good, right? So the good can't come until the evil passes away. Esau's kingdom has to go down in order for Yahushai's kingdom / Yasha'Allah's kingdom, which is Israel's kingdom, be established once again on the planet. For the grain of evil seed had been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning. Yeah, and you see that men on the earth become progressively more and more wicked as time passes on. This is why I'm not sure if this was King David or Asaph that said this in Psalms, 125, it just says Song of Degrees, so it might be a Psalm of David. It says, for the rod of the wicked, which is the correction of the wicked, shall not rest upon the lot or the spot of the righteous. It can't rest on the spot of the righteous. Why? Lest the righteous put forth his hands unto iniquity. Because, Proverbs 12 and 26 says, the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. Remember, the scripture said that if at all possible, they should deceive the very elect. These devils are very crafty. So if it was possible, they would deceive the very elect. Why? Because the ways of the wicked seduceth the righteous. And the rod of the wicked, which is the correction of Esau, shall not rest upon the lot or the spot or the preserve or reserved parking of the righteous. Why? For least the righteous put forth their hands unto iniquity. That's how wicked this place is. But the Lord will take it out. So in order for the good to come, the bad has to be taken away. The Edomite / heathen kingdoms have to go. For the grain of evil seed hath been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning, and how much ungodliness has it brought up unto this time. Right. And this was going back 400 or 500 years ago. I'm sorry, 2,500 years ago, during the time of Ezra. So if this time there was great wickedness in the earth, how much more now in these times that we're living in? It says, and how much shall it yet bring forth until the time of threshing come? Remember, in Revelation 18, let's go there real quick. Go straight to the point. 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. And there's another precept that says that Babylon, came into mind of the Most High. So the iniquities are being revealed now, because before the Lord brings judgment, he brings revelation, revealing. So going back, it says, ponder now by thyself how great fruit, and how much shall it bring yet forth until the time of threshing come, right? And this is why when you see, the Lord said it's like a wine press. This great sacrifice that the Lord is going to make upon Esau. It's like a big wine press full of grapes. And once there's no more room for any grapes, what happens? Then the stomping commences, and that's when the destruction comes. That's why it says that the slain of the Lord shall be many. It says, ponder now by thyself how great fruit of wickedness the grain of evil seed hath brought forth. Right. Look at how evil the world has become. And the Spirit always has me referencing, going back to just before the flood, how great evil and wickedness was on the planet back then. And look at how much more it is now. And what happened then when they came to the full? The Lord destroyed them. What happened when Sodom and Gomorrah came to the full of their wickedness? The Lord destroyed them. The same thing today in America. America is being preserved for the very final countdown. The very last place or wicked kingdom that will be destroyed spectacularly by the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And this is why it's been built up so much, and there's so much pride and so much energy and effort that's gone into building this kingdom up, because when the Lord destroys it, he's going to use it to magnify his name. So it says, and when the ears shall be cut down, which are without number, how great a floor shall they fill? Right. And the ears are ready. Everything is set. The floor is ready. The grapes are in there. The ears are in there. Everything is ready for and ripe for destruction. Then answered I and said, how and when shall these things come to pass? Wherefore are our years few and evil? I'm just going to jump down. 36. And unto these things Uriel the archangel gave them answer and said, even when the number of seeds is filled in you, meaning when the word, or when the elect are sealed with the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the M-A-R-K of the Most High. All right, the Ezekiel 9:4 M-A-R-K of the Most High. For he hath weighed the world in a balance, the same way that ancient Babylon was weighed in a balance during the time of Belshazzar. And what happened? They were found wanting, and they were eventually destroyed. Right? So we see these things hastening. So haste is the order of the day. By measure hath he measured the times, right? Because he set a certain number and a certain boundary, a certain time frame. This is why when the disciples asked the Lord, will thou at this time restore the kingdom again to Israel? When you go prior to that in Matthew 24, they said, when is the sign of that coming and of the end of the world? The end of the world there, the Greek word is eon, which means an age which is uninterrupted rule. And that uninterrupted rule was the rulership of the Roman Empire, which was the fourth beast in the book of Daniel. It says, by measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he does not move nor stir them. Right, they don't get moved or stirred until the said measure be fulfilled. That's why in Habakkuk 2 it says, and at the end it shall speak. In Songs of Solomon it says, wake not my love until he please. Because when the Lord is ready, everything is going to fall, and it's going to fall perfect. It's going to be a super domino effect. It's going to be like the biggest and longest, domino setup that you've ever seen, to where one thing is going to knock everything down, but it's going to go so fast because it took so long to build. Because remember, when you're trying to stack those dominoes, they take a long time. But then when you hit that first one, boom, in a matter of seconds, sometimes all of those dominoes go down. Well, the dominoes of change today, will go down in 1 hour, 60 seconds, according to Revelation, the 18th chapter. So all of these dominoes that the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua has been setting up all around the world are going to go down in 1 hour. It says, by measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he does not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. And the elder brother Hawad put this scripture up, which I had here, right? This is 2 Ezra 14 and 14. Let go from the mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature. Yeah, because, the mind, it gets entertained by too many things sometimes. This is why Yahweh said, if thy eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. So we got to put all that other shit aside and let the Lord do his work. And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. Right. And this is why we run into what? To the secret chambers of the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And the secret chambers is what? This knowledge, this truth, which is our safety net. This is the safety net right here. This is what's going to protect us, from all the hell that's coming down when everybody else is going to be catching hell. Everybody else is living it up, doing good, being wicked, are in the absolute greatest of health. And the men of the Lord are out here, fighting, slaving, teaching, catching hell, being ridiculed, being, bore false witness against, going through all different types of tribulations and trials, all type of infirmities and all kind of ailments and different shit brothers are going through, and the world is rejoicing. Remember, Yahweh said, the world shall rejoice and you shall be sorrowful, but your sorrow shall be turned into joy. And so it's not, in the Western mindset, it's not a comprehensible thing or thought to subject yourself to catching hell and then later receive a reward. Here it's all about instant gratitude. But eventually, all of that hell that we went through eventually is going to pay off in the long run. And it's going to pay off in a way that the ones that make it through will be so happy that they were subjected to the things that they went through, and to see the benefit and the cover and the protection, the spiritual protection that's going to come when all hell breaks loose. So it says, for yet greater evils than those which I have seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, right? Through different eons and time. So much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein, right? And the Lord is building this place up and letting it build up. The Lord said, what if the Most High, willing to show his power, endure with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction? So he's suffering, he's long suffering, Esau. Look, we want this place to be destroyed, But we don't want it to be destroyed as bad as the Most High does. He's ready to smash and crush this devil, but he's bound by his words. And he's the one that's moving the chess pieces, on the planet. For the time has fled far away, right? Because this was almost 2,500 years ago. How much more now when we're at the final seconds of these empires? And leasing his heart at hand, for now hasteth the vision to come, which thou hast seen. Okay? Now, let's go from there. Got a couple more precepts. Isaiah 13:9, behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. So the Lord, in the midst of all of this, the Lord is still of tender mercies. Still having a little bit of the door of mercy open for those out there that are still straggling and still coming in. The 11th hour crowd coming in to be seated, suited, and being dressed, with their reservation for when Yahushua comes back to get married to the elect of the nation of Israel. So it says, for the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. That's for two reasons. Because of the destruction and the devastation of the missiles and the fire and the lasers from the chariots, plus the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these devils is going to be darkened, because it's not going to be anything that they can do. Because remember, what was that? Alice Bailey? Something about the hierarchy, the hierarchy. In that book, it was stated that the missiles were not created to be used. The missiles were just created to scare the people into their agenda. But unbeknownst to them, the Lord is going to actually make them use it, because the Lord is going to smack it out of their hand. He's going to slap the ball out of their hand. He's going to make them fumble, and the Lord's going to run it to the end zone. Then after he run it through the end zone, then he's going to punt it through the uprights. And that's going to be the winning score. So it says, the sun shall be darkened in its going forth, and the moon shall not cause a light to shine. Yeah, because they're not going to have solutions. They're not going to have stimulus packages. They're not going to have any form of help from anywhere, any source, to help them to, get back on track. It ain't going to happen. And I will punish the world for their evil. See, once again, the first punishment or the first death was the flood. The second death is fire, nuclear fire. And the wicked for their iniquity, right? And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease. So all of this stuff that you see with Esau, these devils, these Amalekites, this pompous attitude, this like untouchable attitude, this Teflon Don spirit that they had, and no matter how wicked they are, they even though they get caught red-handed, they never pay. They always get away. That's all going to go down the drain. Because coming to find out now, the ADL, when it was established for the purpose of this one individual that killed this one, I think she was a 17-year-old girl, and they didn't want to give him the death penalty, so that they gave him life. And what happened was the people wasn't having it. They broke into jail, took him out, and lynched him. And then years later, they absolved him of his crime. So these devils don't play fair. Even if they get caught with their hand in the cookie jar, they still don't pay. That's what the Lord said. He will not at all acquit the wicked. And that is a chief house of the wicked, Amalek, the lickle hats, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. All right, and that's what the Lord is coming to do. He's coming to lay low the haughtiness of the terrible, and Esau is the terrible. And the last precept I have is 2 Peter 3 and 12, looking forward and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Let's look up this word hasting. I know we've looked it up before. Spudo, which is something that's quick, to haste, make haste, to desire earnestly, to await eagerly. Can't wait for the Lord to destroy this place and deliver us. That's the attitude. And we're not desiring the day of the Lord as others desire the day of the Lord, which it's going to be to their detriment. We just want the Lord to take this place out so that he can establish the kingdom of heaven back on planet Earth, so everything could be back into righteousness. So we could leave this God-forsaken place, and once and for all, wickedness can be put down once and for all, and everything could return back to serenity, to peace. And then it goes on to say, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Right. And that new heavens and new earth is a representation of the earth being set up, the same earth being set up under new management, being renewed, refreshed, restored. All right. So haste is the order of the day. So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. To the next time I say shalom and tawada for all the precepts that brothers put up in shalom. Yahweh Shem Shai Barak Thumb. If there be any apostles, elder bishops, elders, priests, brothers, sincere, and shalom to the sincere sisters. Shalom.